Has Iran almost won this war against America? Looking at the activities that have taken place in the past few hours, the reports that have come out and the statements that have been made, it seems that even after putting in their utmost efforts, America and Israel are still far from achieving their war goals. And after being thoroughly humbled by the nation of Iran, they now just want to somehow find a way to save face and finally get out of this long war. In a recent development, US President Donald Trump made a truly shocking statement, which even deeply surprised his most loyal supporters, by saying that our ongoing war with Iran is now almost over. But on the other hand, their own Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, says that this is just the beginning of the war. When Trump was asked for clarity about this, when a reporter questioned him, all he could manage was some incoherent mumbling.
It's the beginning of building a new country, but they have no Navy, they have no Air Force, and they have no leadership, all gone, and we're going to go further.
For a change, Donald Trump isn't lying here. The fact is, it's completely true. Iran currently has almost nothing, no radar, no Navy, and no strong leadership, and yet they're still managing to outmaneuver America. That's really a matter of shame, isn't it? What's even more shameful is that a true leader takes responsibility for his team's mistakes. But Trump, being a powerful, king-like figure, has now started shifting the blame onto others for the decision to go to this war. He has realized that he made a significant mistake.
Based on the detailed information that SPED and several others have been sharing with Marco.
The way Trump is talking about bringing the war to an end, and the way he is completely washing his hands of the matter, seeing that, the American stock market has started dreaming of prosperous days ahead once again. On Monday, there was a tremendous surge in the Dow and Nasdaq. Because Trump claimed that this is a short-term war, it's just a short-term conflict and it will be over in a very short time.
We felt we had to do that to get rid of certain unwanted things, It's going to be a very short-term excursion.
This person is repeatedly shouting that the war is almost over. It was just a short-term war. It won't drag on for long. Because oil and gas prices have already started rising in America and around the world. And whether or not Trump really understands much, he believes in the power of money, asks about it, and does everything else in a very straightforward way.
They said this about later things, not that the president can do some. No.
That's true. As much crap and urine as Trump can excrete, probably no other president can do that. So many lies, a person lies so much that even lies would say, come on man, have some shame. Now the whole world knows that American Tomahawk missiles killed 170 Iranian girls. Trump still keeps saying again and again that we don't know. Maybe it was someone else's missile in Donetsk.
The actual fact of the matter is that the Tomahawk is an American missile, and that's the only specific count that's being investigated, right?
Now, who will tell this person that except for the UK, Australia, Japan, and the Netherlands, no other country in the world has Tomahawk missiles, not even Israel? But Trump thought, if I tell a lie 100 times, some people will end up believing it. I don't know about winning or losing yet, but America is definitely flustered. The whole world is troubled by America's arrogance as well. And it's also clear now that Donald Trump himself doesn't know whether he wants to continue this fight or get out of it. At one moment, Trump says the war is almost over. America's goals are almost accomplished. Then, just a few hours later, he posts something on social media. Maybe after 12 drinks, he says that America is going to attack 20 times harder to lift the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, is it the exact same situation over Iran as it was until yesterday? Even Israel, which was prepared and ready to set Tehran on fire, now doesn't know what the next strategic move in the war should be. It also feels like this war is slipping out of its hands. Israeli officials are telling the Washington Post that they don't want to escalate this war any further and are looking for an exit ramp to get out of it. For Israel and America, it's not about smart bombs anymore. These days, exit ramp has become the new favorite term. Every possible tactic has been tried before admitting defeat. Trump's close ally Lindsey Graham even threatened the UAE, saying, "Hey, we're doing so much for you people. You can't join us in a war against Iran. You can't attack Iran." Israel also carried out some false flag operations, which we've told you about previously. In the episode, it was explained how people were incited against Iran by dropping bombs in their country. But that didn't happen. As a result, within just 10 days, America's situation had become tight. And this is when Iran neither has an advanced military, nor the support of any strong ally, nor any powerful backing. From the very beginning, Iran has been forced to fight this war alone. Just imagine if a power such as Russia or China or any other Middle Eastern nation had openly sided with them in this struggle, what would the situation of Israel and America look like today? That's why in today's episode, we will try to understand in detail why no country in the world has officially come forward to support Iran. No Muslim country is participating in it. China and Russia are providing some support from behind the scenes, but they do not come out openly. Why has Iran been standing on its own, despite there being a vast number of Muslim countries in the Middle East? What exactly has Iran done? All the Middle Eastern countries would prefer to side with Israel but not with Iran. Why is that? Why? Despite being a centuries-old civilization, today Iran stands completely alone. This in itself is a very interesting story. To understand it, you'll need to know a bit of history, a bit of geography, and all of this is linked to the current Iran-America conflict. Israel and America have tried hard to get the Middle Eastern countries to unite and attack Iran together. They kept fighting and killing each other. America and Israel sold a lot of weapons and made a lot of money. This plan isn't wrong because the other Middle Eastern countries look at Iran with a lot of suspicion. Now the world thinks that all Muslim countries are the same, that they are all alike part of a Muslim brotherhood. Iran's name is often mentioned in the same sentence as Saudi Arabia or the UAE. People think these are all Arab countries, their geography is similar, and to some extent their lifestyles are also alike. Long ago, before Islam spread in this region, there used to be very powerful empires in the area of Persia. The Achaemenid Empire, which was founded by Cyrus the Great in the 6th century BC. If you think about its extent even today, you'll realize how vast it was, from the Indus Valley all the way to the Mediterranean. Interestingly, the name Iran also comes from an ancient word whose literal translation is land of the Aryans. So for centuries, a powerful and influential Persian civilization has existed here. In the 7th century, the invading Arab Muslim armies captured Persia. Islam began to grow stronger there. But one thing did not change. The Persian identity never disappeared. There is a difference in language between Persians and Arabs. Persians speak the Farsi language while Arabs speak Arabic, and most Iranians who are Muslim, well, the majority of them are predominantly Persians. Only a small portion of Iran's population identifies themselves as such. Geographically, Iran is in the Middle East, but its history, language, and culture are uniquely Persian. Ethnicity and religion are different things. And this distinction matters deeply in politics, alliances, and in the way people perceive each other. Right now, the situation is quite complex and multifaceted, but it is relevant to what we are discussing today. There used to be empires in Persia, where there were kings, governments, big cities, infrastructure, art, culture, all of these things. Whereas the Arabs were organized into tribes, most of them were nomadic, Bedouins, or semi-nomadic. They enjoyed a harsh life of constant survival in the desert, so they were significantly more resilient and tougher. Another major difference, which became strikingly evident and clear to the whole world after the death of Ayatollah Khomeini. Iran is not just the country of a single medalist, it is the home of Shi'ism. Of the two major sects of Islam, one is Shi'ism, whose supreme leader was Ayatollah Khomeini. Ayatollah Khomeini, that's right. Just like the leader of Roman Catholics all over the world is the Pope, and even among Christians. You know, the conflict between Catholics and Protestants has been going on for centuries. In the same way, the conflict between Sunni and Shia Muslims has been going on since 6th century CE. Now, the matter is very complicated, but if you want to understand it at a basic level, Sunnis believe that after the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, no other human being on earth has any divine authority. The community can choose a leader. But Shia Muslims believe that the Shia Imams, who are direct descendants of the Prophet Muhammad, are divinely guided and are considered to be entirely free from error. For the past 1400 years, for the most part, both have lived together side by side. There is tension, but not as much among ordinary people as there has been between states. Now, Iran made use of this divide. It actively presented its foreign policy as the protection of Shia Muslims around the world. Khomeini was not just the head of Iran. He was the supreme leader of the entire global community of Shia Muslims. Take a moment to see how much politics and religion influence each other. For many centuries, Iran itself was actually mostly Sunni, and this dramatically changed in the 16th century. Not very long ago, when Shi'ism was made the main sect of Iran, and this change was also a political move. Iran did this to differentiate itself from its primary Sunni Muslim rival, the Ottoman Empire, which helped concentrate political power in one place. So that was a bit of history, and I've provided this explanation at a very basic level. Now let's come to the present times. If we talk about it, around 92 to 95% of Iran's population is Shia Muslim, making it the largest Shia majority country in the world. Most Muslims in the world, about 85%, are Sunni. Shia Muslims make up about 15%, but you will definitely find them concentrated in one region. From Lebanon through Iraq all the way to Iran. This is also called the Shia Crescent. Since the Iranian Revolution of 1979, the relationship between the Muslim world and Iran has been quite tense. And for good reason. Shia Islam in Iran is not just the state religion. It has become the backbone of its law, its government, and its foreign policy. Furthermore, Iran did not simply want to stop within its own borders. It actively sought to spread the ideas of its Islamic revolution to other Muslim countries as well. According to experts, the strategic export of the revolution was most successful in Lebanon, which at that specific time was deeply angry over the Israeli invasion. The supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khomeini, was fully accepted as the leader within Iran. But elsewhere, Khomeini was not met with the same level of success. After him, his successor Khamenei took up the task of spreading the revolution to other countries. He somewhat toned down this ambition and began to underplay it. But Iran's hardline revolutionary ideology and this intense desire to bring about a regional revolution ended up deeply alienating its neighboring countries in the Middle East. Especially the Sunni majority countries, they certainly did not want such radical uprisings within their own nations, and have always seen Iran as a significant threat. Now take a look at this. Iran shares its borders with 7 countries. But when Iran is attacked, not a single neighbor comes forward to help, or even to speak up for them. You could say that Armenia and Turkmenistan are both friends of Iran. Well, they may not have any disputes with them, but if you look at Azerbaijan, their relations aren't particularly good. The reason is the long-standing territorial conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia, and Iran has always supported Armenia. If we talk about Iran and Pakistan, their relations have been just okay. But due to regional pressure and the Shia-Sunni conflict, this relationship has always been a bit difficult. And right now, for Pakistan, having a relationship with Iran's rival country, Saudi Arabia, is very important. Because it's Saudi Arabia that provides Pakistan with a lot of financial aid. Apart from this, at the moment, Pakistan is in the good books of the USA. By supporting Iran, Pakistan can't just wash away its sins. There has also been long-standing tension between Iran and Afghanistan over the Helmand River and the rights to its water. In 1998, the Sunni hardline Taliban killed 10 Iranian diplomats in the Afghan city of Mazar-e-Sharif. At present, Taliban 2.0 and Iran are cautiously trying to improve their relations. But there hasn't been any significant progress. Now, if we talk about Oman, their Ibadi Islam is followed. It is an ancient sect that predates both Shia and Sunni Islam. Unlike its neighbors, Oman has managed to simultaneously maintain good diplomatic relations with Iran, Israel, and the West. Iran's relationship with Turkey is also quite complicated. At one time, the Ottoman and Persian empires used to be major rivals. Today, both Iran and Turkey know that neither holds a clear edge over the other in military power. Both are powerful nations. But in the region, when it comes to proxy group conflicts, Turkey and Iran often find themselves on opposite sides. Take Syria as an example. Iran supported Bashar al-Assad's government, while Turkey sided with the rebels. Apart from this, Turkey is also an ally of Azerbaijan. The relationship between Iran and Iraq is also very complicated. Saddam Hussein wanted to unite the Arab world, and Iraq challenged Iran. Interestingly, both Iran and Iraq are Shia majority states. But Saddam Hussein himself was Sunni and advocated understanding Islam from a more Arab perspective. Just 1 year after the Islamic Revolution of 1979, Iraq attacked Iran. This war lasted for almost 8 years. Millions of people were killed. In 1988, both countries announced a ceasefire. Within just a few years, Iran began to reconsider its foreign policy. During the 1991 Persian Gulf War, Iran even provided financial assistance to Iraq. In 2003, when the US attacked Iraq, Iran did not support that invasion. But Tehran also saw an opportunity in this. It was a chance to fill the power vacuum that was emerging in the region. Since then, Iran has been quite active in Iraq's politics. According to reports, Iran has significant links with Iraq's political parties. It has come to light that Iran provides money, training, and support to paramilitary groups linked to those parties. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, for decades it has considered Iran its regional rival. Meanwhile, in places like Yemen and Syria, both compete for influence. Because of this, Iran is considered the de facto leader of the Shia. Similarly, Saudi Arabia is regarded as the main defender of Sunni Islam. So there is a divide here as well. Before the Iranian Revolution, the relationship between Saudi Arabia and Iran used to be quite stable. However, when Iran transformed into a Shia Islamic republic, it created deep-seated fear among the Sunni ruling elite of Saudi Arabia, Diwadi. Following this, Saudi Arabia began to actively promote Wahhabism, which is a very strict version of Sunni Islam, in order to ensure that Iran's influence could be effectively countered. Until 1988, during the long Iran-Iraq War, Saudi Arabia provided significant support to Iraq, and also offered strategic backing to various militant groups in Pakistan and Afghanistan that were actively working to suppress Iran-backed Shia movements. In 1981, 6 neighboring Gulf nations, including Saudi Arabia, officially formed the Gulf Cooperation Council. The primary objective of this strategy was to counter Iran's influence. For the next decade, Tehran and Riyadh found themselves repeatedly clashing over control of Mecca. Then, during the Hajj in 1987, a group of Iranian pilgrims suddenly attacked the Saudi security forces. Since then, Saudi Arabia also broke off diplomatic ties with Iran. If we talk about recent times, the Arab Spring further increased tensions and deepened divisions. Now, Iran started calling this revolution, this uprising as inspired by the Islamic Revolution, and began to support it. But the Gulf countries were not going to accept the idea of regime change everywhere so easily. So in 2016, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Bahrain, all of these countries expelled their Iranian diplomats. You can imagine just how incredibly bad the relations were then. Iran's strategic response to this Gulf coalition was to support various non-state actors. This was done so that a regional network could be formed known as the Axis of Resistance, which includes Iran and Syria along with their non-state allies from Iraq, Lebanon, Palestine, and Yemen. For example, groups like Hezbollah and Hamas, before the October 7th terrorist attack by Hamas, there were diplomatic efforts already underway to improve relations here. For instance, the UAE restored their full diplomatic ties with Iran in 2021, and Kuwaiti leaders also met with Iranian leaders in 2023 to resolve the long-standing maritime border dispute. But there was never any real sense of trust or mutual understanding. These countries have always looked at Iran with deep suspicion. The Arab states were never in favor of Iran and its proxies. They simply didn't like this formula. As a result, Iran wasn't necessarily weak, but it certainly became increasingly isolated. It had oil, missiles, and proxies, but when it came to direct confrontation, no one was willing to stand by its side. So, in the final analysis, it's a very interesting story. On one side, there's religion. On the other, there is history. Meanwhile, Iran is playing a complex and strategic game of geopolitical chess, saying, "We won't attack Gulf countries anymore if American attacks don't originate from your soil. If you distance yourselves from America, we won't attack you." On the other hand, there's another clever chess move, another lure. Any Arab or European country that expels the American or Israeli ambassador from their country will be able to take their ship through the Strait of Hormuz without any trouble, and Iran will guarantee that nothing will happen to that ship. So, they're enticing people to break free from America's web. Meanwhile, America finds itself quite confused. On one hand, there are new revelations in the Epstein files. On the other, gas prices are rising. Third, midterm elections are coming up. And fourth, they can't figure out why they're in this war, whether for themselves or for Israel. And now it's possible that slowly but surely America might declare itself victorious. Trump might say, "I've won. The aims of the war have been achieved," and gradually taxes might go down. Or it could also happen that Trump's ego gets bruised by something from Israel, or some new instruction comes and we witness another massive and devastating explosion of conflict in the next 24 hours. So, the war has reached a stage where peace and restoration might be possible, but where the unpredictable nature of Donald Trump is involved, it's very difficult to say anything with 100% certainty.